plays, or he's shown in the LPL, Bard, and Braum, Tahm Kench, and Nautilus, so tanky support. The issue with taking Bard now is that Alistair, Braum, and Tahm Kench will not have a good time against Bard.
No.
He could possibly look for a Trundle, but I don't think he's going to go back to the Karma. I think he's a little bit been shied away from that.
A little bit burnt, and it's going to be very difficult for him to pick the Trundle, considering its location on the ban list.
Oh, yeah, correct. So
Braum is going to be the consideration, though, and of course, just a generally strong lane, and one that Vici did make work very well last game.
Big thing, though, is Xuan now. So we have the Braum Lucian. Everyone knows that that's a powerful 2v2, how it works and proccing the Winter's Bite into concussive blows with double tap.
Yep.
You know, what does Xuan pick up? How does he stack 2v2 against Jin Zhao and Road? So I like already the adaptation for the bottom lane for IMA. You know, last time we just kind of gave them a free passive lane. This time let's stick it to them.
Well, you can see Vici have locked away the Rek'Sai. So we've spoken about Dandy's Rek'Sai a lot. This guy is incredibly powerful in the champion. And EasyHoon is actually going to switch it back to the Victor. Was thinking about Lysandra in back-to-back games, but just going to go for the powerful control mage there in the mid lane.
I actually really like this. So it would make sense for EasyHoon to take Lysandra if Dandy was playing something like Graves, a jungler that could very quickly come into the mid lane and kill someone through the duration of the Frozen Tomb.
Yep.
But with Dandy taking Rek'Sai, how the Emburrow is going to work with the gravitation field, I think it's a lot easier to pull off.
Not to mention with parallel convergence as well, if Lung can time it right at the same time, it seems like he will be able to augment these solo lanes very effectively. As Amazing J once again looking towards the Maokai. It was worrying in game number 1. This is more what we're talking about.
This is more what I want to see, too.
Damn right. And I like the Gragas into the Rek'Sai as well. Has been seeing a little bit more play. As we saw MLXG go completely ballistic on it.
A really good soft answer for Victor. So anytime you have these big control mages in the mid lane, Gragas actually does wonders against them, because when it comes to these big A-rams where you just can't break that mid-tier tower, Gragas rocks up, drops a cask behind them. See ya.
Well, as it's all shaken out, it is going to be the final counterpick priority going towards the subbed-in Xuan in the AD carry position, as it looks like Kalista might be the option.
It has to be. That's the only 2 champions they play.
Huh. Well, Ezreal's there, of course, as well. We'll see. Ezreal Bard has been a lane that's seen a fair bit of success, especially
I like
level 1.
Ezreal as opposed to Kalista. I think he has a better place in the meta right now. Ooh, Jhin.
Yeah, a few different options here available as Caveman cycling, and Jhin is actually going to be locked in. So a little bit more lane dominance. I mean, Bard Jhin is a disgusting lane. That is just revolting to go up against. We'll see whether IMA are going to react to it with a lane swap. It was Vici last time around on the blue side who were able to actually put that one into effect with a Lucian Braum lane. But how do you feel like this one goes, 2 versus 2?
We already have the adaptation made. 2 versus 2, you have 2 range champions versus a range and a melee, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to Jhin and Bard. Obviously, there is counterplay in that if a trade lasts longer than 4 hits, which Bard all ends, that you do have kill pressure on the Jhin still.
That's a good point.
It's more so the gank pathing between a Rek'Sai and a Bard is absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't even realize that. That is just disgusting.
But I don't actually think it'll be used in the bot lane. I think it's going to be used in the mid lane.
Well, we'll see whether it is going to get EasyHoon an advantage here, as he denied Athena that Victor pick. But Athena, of course, with the first pick Azir, going to be relatively happy, and we'll see whether he's going to have sort of a better game this time around. Was farming up fantastically game number 1, but you need to be making the moves. Coaches are going to shake hands, and we'll see whether IMA can fight back in game number 2. Thank you once again, Dandy, for inviting us onto Summoner's Rift here for game number 2 of Aimee versus Vici. Aimee now with a very different plan moving into game number 2, and we'll see whether it's going to work out better than their last option.
It's the plan they should have taken in game number 1.
It's the plan I thought they should take in every game that this team plays. It just didn't seem like their kind of comp in game number 1.
Yep, completely agree. Again, you've got Amazing J. He's on a carry-oriented champion. He's a carry-oriented top laner, taking the Battle of Fervor on that Fizz. I do want to touch very quickly on Gragas while we have a bit of a slow moment. So with the increase of Rek'Sai, it means that Gragas becomes a more viable answer just because Gragas works really well into Rek'Sai. Likewise, with a higher dragon priority and fighting around the dragon area in general, Gragas does amazing in resetting fights with the cask, covers a lot of area there. And then, also with the rise of Victor, Gragas is a great answer to that simply because Victor is a mid-range mage, and he is very susceptible to a cask behind him to just delete him from the map. So, again, I already like everything, all of the adaptations that I may have made to this draft, and I think it sets them up much better for success. They need to make sure that they get the 1v1s, though, which they had a far better level 1. We talked about how that was also an issue. Invading, checking, finding Dandy, seeing long, and making sure that it is going to be this Fizz versus Echo matchup.
Well, it's exactly what it is going to be as Aimee successfully gather their standard lanes. Easy Hoon as well just throws out a cheeky Q onto Athena. As a very standard matchup ensues in the mid lane. It's Road and Jinjiao just going to take down some Krugs. Same thing going to happen on the other side of the map, as the Gromp is going to fall to the hands of Xuan and Caveman.
So after some extensive testing, I'm of the opinion that Fizz beats Echo in the top lane. Now Echo's level 2 is going to be incredibly strong, and it should be noted, as I say, that
goodness, there's the
bottom.
flash. Yeah, one more auto attack's going to do it. Xuan's dead. That is first blood going to Jinjiao on the bottom side. Caveman, one more auto will kill him, but my God. Well, that's how you deal with it. You flash in his face.
We talked about how there was counterplay against a Jhin and a Bard. If any engagement lasts longer than 4 auto attacks, Jhin will lose because he has to go through his reload mechanic, and Road and Jinjiao throw down the gauntlet.
I don't even think that lasted 4 auto attacks from Xuan. He was just dead.
But already a huge turn of story for Aimee here in game 2. We talked about this. The lane swap hid formerly Endless, now Xuan, due to the player trade. And Caveman away from a 2v2. This time around, they have to go head-to-head against Aimee's bot lane, and they come up short.
Well, you can see still with a lot of control here on the top side of the map. Amazing J just clearing out underneath his turret. But of course, we'll have more wave clear just naturally in this Echo.
The important thing is kind of where these power specs come for the champions, and the fact that Amazing J doesn't have the Ignite. So one of the reasons why I think Fizz is so good at any matchup is that he doesn't have to opt into the flash due to his Playful Trickster security. Yep. And by taking that Ignite with Battle of Fervor and his W, early level all-in trades are pretty absurd with Fizz. Without that, I think he's going to be more reliant on itemization to beat this Echo.
Well, you could see Aimee did head back to base on the bottom side of the map, so Cull picked up as well as a longsword here for Jinjiao. No summoner spells available on either side, and Dandy's recognized this. He's heading down to try and stop the bleeding that is coming out of this one. We'll see whether he is actually going to stay. No, decides might head back. Yeah,
just hold the wave right here, get a really nice deep freeze, and start to punish the fact that Xuan doesn't have a double summoner.
Yeah.
And that he's going to be an item behind. So already, Vici bleeding from the bot lane, and I don't think that there's a lot of options left for Dandy, because that if that turns into a 3v3, they already automatically lose. Gotta look elsewhere, and it looks like he's looking top lane.
Well, you can see Long already with a lot of pressure up here. He's pushing Amazing J around. There are still a few creeps remaining for Amazing J to pick up, so he will be fine. But so dangerous times.
What's cute is Fizz has a lot of options and a lot of tools on his kit that he can dodge around the windows on Echo's damage. So when he throws out his Time Wander, you can either choose to use your Q and shoot off the back of Echo so you don't connect with the back half of it, or obviously use the Playful Trickster like Faker does.
Yeah.
In terms of just jumping out of it.
Urchin Strike also works if you want to move behind it.
And
cute interaction.
My opinion of this matchup is so skewed towards Fizz because I was watching Faker the other day in this exact matchup. Obviously, this was mid lane, though. And Faker fell down 2 levels and gave away a free kill to Echo and was still trading successfully on him. His base damages, especially once he has his fish and the 20% extra damage that Chum the Waters will apply, is absurd.
Yeah, just silly. As you can see, Aime now shoving this wave back towards Vici, but look at this, 42-19. They are in so much control and just looks so much more comfortable. You can see EasyHoon is making his way back into the mid lane, but he took the heal. Doesn't have the teleport available to him.
And that is a sigh of relief, at least for Schwan. Not only that the wave is finally getting pushed back towards him, so he's going to get the experience and the gold, but more importantly, that both teleports have now been burned, so he can afford to step forward as long as Dandy shadows over top of him without the threat of Fizz being on top of him.
Well, hopefully he's able to pick up most of this CS underneath the turret. Piercing Light's still doing frustrating amounts of work to the Jhin. But 29-48 now, so at least clawed it back within a couple of creep waves. But Aime still giving a lot of assistance to ensure that that lane does not get turned around.
And Avoidless doing a much better job than Midi last game on keeping tabs on Dandy.
Yeah.
Dandy was caught out by Gragas in the jungle. He was looking at helping Schwan and Caveman, and Avoidless making sure that his bot lane was covered, found him. It caused Dandy to immediately reset his positioning and use his ultimate to the other side of the map. And this is something that Dandy has constantly done with his positioning. Anytime he's discovered on a ward or by another champion, instead of just walking away to make sure that they can't track his pathing, he'll always reset himself on the map.
You can see right now, it would actually clear out an enemy wolf camp.
And there we go. The trade's starting to go in favor of this Fizz. Big swing, though, will be whenever the Sheen is available.
Yep. On both champions, of course. Very similar build paths for both of these guys, so you can track who's stronger by having a look at that inventory. As there's the heal being popped. Jin Jiao not hitting all of that culling. But Schwan, he got the message, which was get the hell out of my lane. As EasyHoon taking some damage from the Sand Soldiers. Unfortunately doesn't proc the concussive blows.
But this is fine. EasyHoon's already neutralized. He's just keeping up in his lane. There's not one advantage either way.
Yeah.
Avoidless keeping track of Dandy and just open up space for Amazing J and Jin Jiao to naturally win their lanes.
Well, Athena is going to get over the top here. Long looking for a big fight. Does have the ultimate. Gets the damage down onto Amazing J there as the Chum the Waters comes in. Flash comes out. Long, he could possibly fall down, but there's the playful Trickster. Lung's going to survive, and Dandy picks up the kill on Amazing J. Who would have thought Amazing J going a little bit overly aggressive, but it was really nice play out of Vici, and that was a swift collapse.
And naturally the sarcasm there is that Amazing J has that tendency to just go a little bit too far, overextend a bit too much. Not able to find the execution on Long. Good use of the chrono break.
Was very close, though.
And it's just superior positioning. So EasyHoon actually doesn't get the earlier rotation. Athena beats him here. But the chrono break compensates for so much damage. And forces Amazing J to look for that overreach. And then there's EasyHoon finally shows up when he's needed and catches it.
So Chaos Storm does a fair chunk of damage at the beginning.
But it's the Prey Seeker that...
Yeah, the damn Prey Seeker. Why does it always steal kills so effectively? I never understand why.
Heat-seeking missile.
EasyHoon, though, will be able to grab himself a blue buff. Of course, it was Avoidless that picked up the blue buff on the other side of the map. So Athena going to be missing out on the extra mana and extra ability power as well, although that's not as important here at this stage of the game. 15% equals probably 4 or something like that, as Road possibly caught out of position here as there's the stun from the Deadly Flourish, but they have to take the Magical Journey because Jin Jiao is raking through him with that culling.
That was a 2v3, and Dandy, Caveman, and Schwan had to pull out. And this is what we talked about. Dandy's options in the bot lane are pretty much null and void unless he has either a Long teleport assisting him or an EasyHoon roam.
Jin Jiao is just so powerful at this stage.
And he hasn't even bought.
Yeah, exactly. 40 CS in the lead. It's just punishment town in this lane.
Which means that focus now can be for Aime to look mid or to look top.
Well, there's the flash blown immediately as well as in goes Dandy. He's trying to find Road, and he will be punished as Caveman actually picks up the kill. That is bad news for Schwan as he throws down the curtain call. Jin Jiao slowed. There's one more hit available. Does get the extra damage, but it's just not enough at this stage.
Just so careless. There's no reason to be that aggressive. Contest them for the CS. Don't look for the kill pressure, especially because your top laner doesn't have teleport.
Yeah. And of course, Long, he could have come in at any time as well, so unfortunate.
It naturally wasn't needed, but I just think that is so... I can understand them trying to contest like that if their top laner had also had TP, because then that's them making the call. Our 2v2 is stronger. Chances are a jungler can get here quick enough before they kill us, but then our top laner will also win. But having a numbers discrepancy by not having TP and then also choosing to continue to go aggressive, it's just frankly greedy and careless from Ime.
Yeah, completely. We'll see whether Vici are going to be able to capitalize on it as well. This does give some respite to Xuan to find his way back into this lane. Has himself a pickaxe, but he's now up against a serrated Dirk, the hammer, as well as some swiftness boots out of Jinjiao. This guy is so big. Very close to having that Ghost Blade.
And we also need to now touch onto the top lane. So Ime threw back a lot of power to Caveman and Xuan by overextending there. The fact that Amazing J went down in that blue scuffle, he's lost a lot of CS here as well as his TP to try to compensate for that. But now sitting 72 to 94. And we wanted the isolated 1v1 because we wanted the Fizz Echo matchup to play out naturally, and now it's been affected by mid lane and jungle.
Does mean Ime did get some time to grab themselves a dragon. Next one, of course, is going to be the Ocean Drake as well as Dandy. Going to get the knock up onto Road. Nice stand behind me, gets him out of the way of the Deadly Flourish and the stun that would have come out of it. But a Voidless here now trying to help out at the same time.
Here comes Easy Hoon.
Yeah, actually.
He may be caught up by Azir, actually.
Slight flanking play. Who is caught out from who?
And the reason why Dandy's able to consistently be this aggressive on the bottom lane, because we talked about this, if it's a 3v3, both junglers are there, his bot lane has already lost. It's the superior warding. So Vici have done a phenomenal job getting vision on the back of the Dragon Pit, as well as onto the ramp. So they're tracking where a Voidless is very well, and Dandy's using these windows to make sure that he has a numbers advantage on the spot side to get them back in the game.
Well, you can see he's still heading down there. Easy Hoon once again making some movements over. So he's going to spot that ward. Of course, it's very close to falling down. This Jinjiao and Road are just looking to try and meet him. Easy Hoon, I believe, took a little bit of damage from Athena there as he made his way back into the lane. As there's the Chaos Storm one more time. Athena in trouble. But not quite the quickest Chaos Storm. He will be able to make it to safety, but don't poke the bear. He'll just drop a big old Chaos Storm on you.
Both top laners have TP and both junglers on the bottom side. I have a feeling that this could turn into a party relatively soon. Nope. With Xuan taking so much chunk damage, Vici should just back away from this one.
Dandy as well, doing his best ward impression as he tunnels in very cutely. Jinjiao hit by the Prey Seeker. We'll see whether he's going to be okay. Oh, that was misplaced with the dash, and Caveman going to grab himself another kill. I'd be frustrated if I was Xuan, tell you that much.
And this is why it's been such a shame that we haven't gotten to see Dandy's Rek'Sai in so long. He's such a fun...
That was so cute.
All of the tools that Rek'Sai's kit give Dandy just empower him on another level as this cerebral jungler. To make a vision play like that with Tremor Sense as well as the vision that he had available, beautifully done by Dandy.
Oh, in the top lane. Action going down. Amazing J with a massive advantage as far as mana is concerned. Lung may actually look to try and get himself out, but doesn't have the ultimate in order to make his way back into the lane. Extraordinarily similar builds to come in from these guys. Is that what I think it is? Never mind.
The heat map of Dandy.
Let's have a look at it. A lot of time spent on the bottom side of the map. You can see he has been encroaching on the enemy side of the jungle as well.
And we talked about it. Props to Dandy. I didn't think it was going to be possible to save this bottom lane, but really digging them out of the mud with good vision and counterplay around that information, which feeds into Dandy's strengths, but has saved the day for his Jhin and Bard.
And, of course, always in the right place. Right now, a Voidless was looking at that no-mana Echo on the top side of the map. Not going to be his opportunity to pick that one up as Xuan is able to grab a Gromp looking for whatever he can.
And this can be great things for fans of Vici. If Vici are able to kind of go back to this different style, you know, putting Dandy on more of a control-oriented jungler as opposed to giving him the pressure to hard carry on the likes of Kindred, it just opens up another arsenal that Vici have to continue to develop and
well, it gives them
teams.
another style, right? They're a team known to not necessarily have that many. As Dandy has the flash, he can get that burrow. onto the Lucian if he needs to, but you can see IMA were moving down from the mid lane. Voidless just clearing out all these pesky tunnels that Dandy has been leaving around. And the blue buff looking to be contested here from IMA as well. Road poking his head in. Jin Zhao gets a lot of damage down onto it as well. You can see Easy Hoon, he's just going to go back to base, and it is going to get delivered to Athena. Actually, no. He already had one. Jin Zhao going to pick that one up.
Yep, obviously prioritizing that in the steal. It doesn't matter who gets it, but comes the engagement.
Oh, that
Good
Tempered
flash.
Fate was fantastic as well, stopping the prolonged engagement. Road tried to lock them down, but just couldn't do it for long enough.
And a Voidless and Jin Zhao also had their flashes available, so not on the same page. Maybe the youthfulness of this team
Yeah.
kind of coming across here. Maybe being punished by a 7-man roster. We talked about this, constantly bouncing between Baimi and Athena of Voidless and Midi. You're missing opportunity to continue to build up familiarity with your roster.
I think that was a fantastic demonstration of the fact that Caveman is a very good Bard player
Great
as well.
Bard player.
Yeah. Really was one of their power points moving into the end of last split. It shows that it hasn't changed whatsoever.
It makes him into a playmaker, which is what Vici desperately need.
Yeah.
Again, it's trying to alleviate some of the responsibility on Dandy and Easy Hoon, so normally you expect them to play at a very high caliber, but in Vici so far, just because they don't have enough performing members consistently, it forces Easy Hoon and Dandy to play perfectly every single time. And if they can just play amazing instead of perfect 90% of the time and have either Caveman or Long show up, it means the difference between victory and defeat for Vici.
Well, you can see right now, Lung is playing fantastically well. Does have himself a Banshee's Veil up there towards the top side, so differing from the build that Amazing J was bringing out. Just making sure that he has a little bit more safety. But look at that CS lead.
It gives them a lot
33.
more options to play around the Chum the Water fish as well.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about Echo is if you time your Chrono Break correctly as the fish pops, you can avoid the damage as well as the displacement. And sometimes you can even avoid the damage amplification. It's very hit or miss, though.
Oh, we'll actually have to see if there are any more scuffles there towards the top side. You can see both of those ultimates are available. So something may be able to come out of it as Vici are looking to try and grab themselves this Dragon number 2. It will be an Ocean Drake again. You got to even that one out. You can see they're in good position.
Empowers Dandy so much.
Even more, exactly.
Giving him that regen so he can stay on Summoner's Rift longer.
Caveman as well. I mean, he wants to be moving around. He is the Bard. This Road clearing out vision. Athena in trouble now. Has to use a very defensive ultimate and does sail himself away. Tempered Fate comes down. Bit of a celebration as they can close distance, but not able to get any damage onto him before that Deadly Flourish came through.
The
They'll lose the outer turret.
flash instantaneously.
Had to use the heal at the same time. So Athena out of summoner spells for this next dragon fight that could potentially ensue.
I like what I may...
Oh, we didn't see it, Ginger.
Just ate it right into the wall. I liked what Aime were doing. Instead of immediately collapsing towards the dragon, they continued to apply pressure points by pushing the wave forward to draw Vici out of the jungle. So making sure that it's not immediately focusing back towards this Dragon Drake, but trying to smoke Vici out of their hiding.
Well, it's actually going to be Vici giving up this dragon. Mountain is going to be dragon number 3, as we just saw, appearing on the wall. But with double Ocean Drake, just means that Aime can move around and get all of their health back all of the time. As Amazing J, he's going to give the passive over to Long, so he's going to be fine farming underneath this turret. It looks like Aime do now want to start things off up here. Road actually caught out one more time. It hasn't been his series. He's not going to be able to get over that wall. He's just dead.
Athena, so late on the response, though, is now caught out.
Yeah, he's just going to suicide himself. Able to skirt away a little bit, but that's a brilliant shot out of Schwan with that curtain call. And the Jin slowly but surely making his way back into this game.
And it now means that Jin Zhao may be caught out of position as well.
Yep, Amazing J is here for help with the retreat.
Okay.
Again. A Voidless, what are you doing in there? Throws out the explosive cask onto Easy Hoon, but he's still able to close the gap. He's fallen down so low. Prey Seeker lands. Easy Hoon grabs himself a kill, and it's now 1-6.
That was 3 simultaneous misplays from 3 different members on Aime. Huge delay in Athena responding to Road. He was looking for the stand behind me over that wall to get him to safety. Athena can't save his support.
Yeah.
Immediately then Vici gets the superior rotation on Jin Zhao. He's forced to burn everything and back up. And then a Voidless caught out. And what that means is that Vici pick up all that free pocket change in terms of the kills as well as the tower.
And they're just going to create even more of a lead for themselves, closer to 2,000 now, as Vici look to continue this sort of mid-game dominance. They just, I don't know how they've managed to salvage it.
Well, what started out as IMA just passively winning the bottom lane, Dandy rescued. IMA did get the last laugh, however, taking down that tower and starting to unlock their bot lane. What they wanted to do was start moving them around towards that top lane. Assist Amazing J, get the last standing outers done, and then look towards EasyHoon on that control mage. But just that simple error of Road getting caught out warding lost so much momentum for IMA and put Vici back in it.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show that this IMA squad's still very young, still definitely getting used to everything, because that was sort of a colossal error, and it looked like sort of minds weren't together and they weren't able to rehinge themselves.
I mean, they dominated through
loss.
The LSPL, but obviously facing some of the most veteran players in the world on the likes of Vici.
Yeah.
Getting their feet wet in an actual professional league. Very different experience.
It certainly is. And talking about those veteran players, we've got a Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed here for EasyHoon. Almost towards that perfect Hex Core at the same time, with a whole lot of added survivability in that Negatron Cloak. He's just so comfortable. EasyHoon 2-0-2. Happy as Larry there in the mid lane. As Athena trying to build towards the Nash's Tooth, item number 2. And just frustrating EasyHoon a little bit with the slow on the Rylai's.
Merc treads on Azir, as Dandy's now cut out.
Is he, though? He's going to be long moving in from the top side to try and help out. And see everybody else on Vici just shoving these waves in the mid lane. And look, Jin Zhao still with a gigantic lead. That's 60 CS for the AD carries. But EasyHoon's ahead. You've got a big lead for Long there towards the top side.
It's weird where power is distributed right now on the map. Like you said, yes, Lucian's online. He's got his 2-item power spike. But on the same token, I think he's okay. He's not okay.
He's not okay at all, as he uses the ultimate but goes straight back into Road. See you later, Long.
He had flash. Could have flashed that wall.
Yeah, but I think he was just going to die before he got there.
It's the red buff.
Terrifying. But Jin Zhao just demonstrating that, yes, this is where a lot of that power is allocated.
And the thing is it's the lane assignments then. So Amazing J fell behind due to the scuffle over the blue buff. And so they're assigning Lucian across from the Echo and trying to punish like that. Vici, they actually have a lot of siege power if they can ever get to a point where they start sieging. Just because Jin will open up his ultimate, the curtain call, and just start chunking people down behind tower. And if they can force Athena off of it, there's not a lot of wave clear options available for IMA if the culling has also been spent. So it's kind of like where these teams want to fight is very different. Vici are doing a good job mirroring Schwan and Caveman behind Jin Zhao and Road and trying to continue to get Echo and Fizz to punish Amazing J. But I may just need to be a bit more reactive. Start sieging towers.
They certainly do. We'll see whether they can actually get themselves to that point, whether they want to do so after this Mountain Drake does spawn. 45 seconds until that objective is available. You can see Amazing J actually moving towards the bottom side of the map. They've got a lot of members here towards the top side as Voidless just bops the Rift Scuttler on his way past. But Back's now coming in. Vici probably getting themselves in position. They probably want to contest for this particular dragon. And look, despite the fact that they have been, able to get themselves a lead, they still don't feel like they're in control of the map on the side of Vici Gaming just yet.
It's still a coin flip either way, because again, the bot lane for IMA is strong, the top lane for Vici is strong. And who executes on Hugh? The fact is Echo has a lot more opportunity to kill a Lucian than a Lucian does to stand up and carry on 6.10.
Well, we saw that wasn't the case prior, but Lung was relatively low on mana. Does now have himself a Sunfire Cape as we head towards this one. And 2-item Power Spike here for Xuanchuan as well.
It's also the difference of a 5v5 versus a 1v2.
Yes, that is a very, very good point. As EasyHoon may actually be caught out of position here just a little bit. Voidless slowed down by the Rylai's. as in goes Athena. There's the flash as well. This is just awful. The
Just for
bouncy
good
castle.
measure.
Exactly right. Dandy still trying to set this one up, though, as Curtain Call does come round. Misses the first bolt. Jin Jiao tanks the second one. As now Amazing J finding his way in. It is going to be Road falling down, but that's mid laner for support. Not exactly the trade you're looking for if you're Vici. And Aime splitting up this battle completely. Caveman very, very low. It is a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Lung battling Jin Jiao one more time as this AD carry is so aggro.
And Vici don't even need to test their 5v5 out. They simply make a mistake. Easy Hoon getting picked off by a good collapse and rotation from Aime. Like you said, gives them the pick as well as the dragon. They do have superior positioning on mid lane, but here comes Long.
Yeah, Long and Dandy actually looking to try and contest for this one. Everyone knocked back. Jin Jiao right in the back of this pit as Long looks for it. Doesn't get the stun, but it is going to be Dandy taking the dragon. Such low health bars as Long still wants it. Ults himself back. Can't get the kill, but that's absolutely fine. Xuan and Athena going aggressive. But Avoidless is so lucky to have his life right now.
Massive play by Dandy. Did have the stronger smite, level 11 to level 12, but executes that brilliantly with the Void Rush as well as the TP. So good response from Vici to bite back.
Yeah, and in the end, that's, what, a 1-for-1, and Dragon go over to Vici. So they actually win out on that whole series of events with that play now in the record books.
And they still retain the gold lead here, and having Easy Hoon in position, there's no counter push on mid that I may have available.
Well, Amazing J is going to get some time here towards the top side with a lot of minions. So trying to get himself back into catching distance of Long. You can see 217 now to 238. Only about 20 CS the diff between those two. Third item coming very quickly here for Jin Jiao. I don't know what that longsword's doing. That's a Zeal picked up there as well. So probably into the rapid fire cannon. Let's see where he goes next. As Dandy has found a Voidless. Easy Hoon's hanging around here as well as they're just clearing out vision around the Baron. And they have a Mountain Drake now. They can actually do it relatively quickly.
Again, there's a lot of power in VG's siege composition, as well as fighting around the Dragon and Baron areas. A lot of control with the Parallel Convergence and Chaos Storm.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them siege with the Curtain Call, just because I think Jin is actually very strong right here, despite only having 2 items. Having that Infinity Edge, I like the priority of it over an Essence Reaver.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of how Eye Edge works with Jin's passive.
Also, with that pickaxe there as well, looking to possibly pick up a third item, Last Whisper, which I would also quite like, as Dandy will find Road. The rest of Aime are able to push back. Dandy just going to take a tunnel back into the mid lane, which is still surviving, albeit on relatively low health. About a third still there, as Amazing J moving up from the bottom side of the map. Aime look like they're positioning themselves to try and get something happening, and it's only 200 gold the difference. This game is so close.
It's effectively a single team fight, and it comes down to execution because
Yeah.
both teams have very similar tools in what they want to do.
But you can see Athena continuing the pressure here in the mid lane, not wanting to go too close to Easy Hoon though, as Dandy flanking around the side. Caveman saves himself from a possible body slam from a Voidless.
This is where a Voidless should start to shine on this Gragas pick, though, when we do have these kind of stalemates happening in the mid lane. The Gragas cask, especially in tandem with Flash, means so much more and opening up an immediate 5v5.
Yeah, they can really start making things happen here as Jin Jiao looking to try and grab themselves a turret towards the top side, meaning they will be able to find themselves the gold lead one more time. It was already there. This is only going to stretch it further as Deadly Flourish is going to come in. Caveman moving very quickly, and they are actually able to save it. So big deal there for Vici.
Really respecting Caveman CC lock potential with the Bard. Likewise, they did hear the Rek'Sai ultimate, so knowing that Dandy was on that side of the map.
Dandy's still just tunneling himself around.
They should have played it. They have a TP advantage. Amazing J having his TP whereas Long is still on cooldown. I feel like that's a bit of an error. Yeah. Or just a ton of respect coming out of Aime. But that's twice now that they've fumbled their TP cooldowns.
You can see Road actually now going to make his way into the mid lane here. Just going to donate one of those stacks over to Athena. Nizuhun behind on farm by just a little bit. Athena farming up very nicely, almost towards the Void Staff as item number 3. You can see Jin Jiao did manage to finish off the Rapid Fire Cannon, so he's 3 items deep. But Xuan also, I really like this build.
Again, it really empowers this idea of Jin's poke ability, if you will, or chip ability.
Yeah.
Having the penetration, the safety of the Rapid Fire Cannon, and as well as the crit. as opposed to looking for more of an elongated fighting build with the Essence Reaver and trying to use the CDR for movement speed and safety.
Aimee will be very, very close to wanting to start up a fight here. I think as soon as that Iceborne Gauntlet is completed from Amazing J to add that continued... Oh my goodness! Easyhoon in so much trouble here in the mid lane. Tempered Fate is going to save him for now as Vici looking to get onto Jin Zhao. They are going to trade immediately. Eddie carry from mid lane. And Dandy is so tanky right at the front here as Juan is able to lock that one down. You can see he's now kiting back. Chum the Waters has gone down on top of him. The Jin is going to die as Amazing J is so difficult to deal with. Caveman and Dandy caught out as Long doesn't have the ult anymore and will die to Aimee. It's a 1 for 3 now as they are pushing up the mid lane. And they're not done yet. Dandy and Caveman unable to hold on. That is going to be the outer turret falling. Aimee just pull the trigger, and they pull it hard.
I thought the responsibility was going to go to a Voidless on that Gragas, but instead it's this support road that pulls the trigger as Vici run for the hills, and it's going to be a 2-tower trade in favor of Aimee.
It was a really, really nice play. A little bit late on the Tempered Fate, unfortunately.
That is night and day difference, though, in terms of a performance from this Aimee support. Road looked pretty atrocious on the Karma, looked so much more comfortable on the Braum, and opened up so much space. This is very risky.
Yeah, so the Baron actually being started up here from Aimee. Dandy is, of course, around, but Road and Amazing J right on top of him. He's so tanky. Nice stun to come in. Keeps Road in position as Dandy wants to find his way through. He has got in there, but they've stopped damage. How is Dandy still alive? He's not anymore. And that is going to be the Baron falling. A Voidless does pick that one up, but look at this. Fish in a barrel. That is going to be 1 kill going down as Amazing J cops another couple of the bolts, but he's going to survive. Being the tanky man that he is. It is going to be Easyhoon falling one more time, though.
High risk, high reward style of play on the Baron, executed beautifully. We've kind of criticized Aimee early game due to their lackluster synergy, not being quite on the same page in a couple of their engagements. That Baron call was exactly on the same page, though, doing a great job backing off of the monster as Dandy entered the pit, making sure he went down and securing that objective. In return, table scraps, Ocean Drake, and it's stolen.
Yeah, Voidless is going to be able to pick that one up. He's now stuck in the pit, doesn't have flash, but Body Slam will be back up. And that's going to be the 3rd Ocean Drake picked up for Aimee. So, look, they stop fighting a Baron, they'll get their health back in like 2 seconds. That is going to be revolting. The Mountain, of course, did go to Vici.
From here, it's just more empowered sieging. So you have the Baron up creeps, like you said. You had the crazy region coming out of the Ocean Drake. But now it's time for this Azir and Lucian to put in work.
We'll see whether they actually can do that. Aimee looking to try and finish off this outer turret towards the top side.
Oh, very easily.
So super easily, exactly right.
Issue, though, is that Avoidless doesn't have his flash, so not the exact range that he wants to meet. Also,
this
Road.
Could be the pick out of position here as Road is able to get himself to relative safety. Nice Chaos Storm slowing everyone down. Just throws down the ultimate and the flash and will get himself to safety. Inner turret now under fire here from Aimee as there are a lot of big creeps smacking down on this one. Parallel Convergence not going to get met by Long. There's the fish. Easyhoon caught out one more time. Bouncy Castle is exactly where he's living. Still able to get a fair bit of damage down after the Tempered Fate, but Vici just looked like they don't have anything. It's just so similar to what Vici did to Aimee in game number 1.
The big difference, though, is making sure that you had the priority jungle matchup. Again, we talked about how Dandy is an incredible Rek'Sai player, but Vici cannot have him be a Rek'Sai player. They need him to be the carry. They need him to be the all-star. And unfortunately, Dandy put all of his resource and energy into giving Schwan and Caveman a leg in, and they don't have enough to carry.
Oh, well, yeah. Or basically being a Band-Aid for that bottom lane, which was a real problem early. Curtain Call is going to come out. Schwan looking for something here, but he just doesn't have the damage to really stop anything. Vici attacking. Long throws out a Time Winder, but not too much more to come from it, as that's just the inhib, and Aimee now backing away.
Quite sizable damage done on Vici's base, though, as Dandy's actually getting pretty cheeky.
Yeah, Powered Recall going to get Athena out of there. That's going to be fine. And they make their way back. So we'll see exactly where Aimee decide to focus their efforts next. Teleport's available from Amazing J, and he's also got himself a Guardian Angel. And my god, look at Athena. That is huge damage out of this Azir.
And it's just so easy for Aimee's composition to siege against Vici. Again, we talked about the threat of Gragas, and you saw it on that last tower. Fizz and Gragas just walk at Vici's comp, and they have to just respect back up. They have no way to reset fights or to back up from them. They just have anti-dive tools and the Chrono Break and the Tempered Fate.
Well, Vici now just looking to try and clean up these minion waves. Baron buff still there for the next couple of seconds. As Athena shoves up mid. The rest of Aime, though, looking towards the bottom side of the map. 4 men strong. Athena just controlling that jungle. They've broken the Banshee's Veil, and we'll see whether they actually go for a dive. Amazing J has so much longevity in these fights with that Guardian Angel, and Athena left on his own. He's going to be able to just break open the mid lane all too easy here for Aime, as the inhibitor is going to fall next. Juan. Just don't know whether you want to go that close to a fizz, my friend. Deadly Flourish misses everyone, as Road now just at frontline. I mean, this guy is a support, but he's so tanky.
They have to fight now.
Yeah, Tempered Fate going to miss everyone here as Dandy already taken down so incredibly low. EasyHoo, nice flanking play, does find Jin Zhao, but he's not going to be able to take him down. The rest of Vici have consolidated quite nicely, but EasyHoon's going to fall. Jin Zhao grabs it, and now Caveman in so much trouble. That's a double kill already for the Lucian as he's dancing out of the way of the top laner from Vici. Chrono Break comes in. Amazing J is just going to get straight back on top of the Echo, and they're just going to finish off this Nexus. Aime even out the series 1-1 in a much better game.
And it started in their draft phase, identifying what they're strong at, what they're good at, making sure that Amazing J gets that hard carry champion of the top lane, meeting Vici's weak bottom lane in a standard 2v2, and putting Dandy